Did get to see Rolando Blackman, a former friend, a former player in Dallas, get the start for Pat Riley and company. John Starks, another nice night, 16 points. Off-balance, left-handed layup gave the Knicks a 13 lead. He had 18 on the night, I should say. Patrick Ewing limited to just 7 points in 28 minutes, still suffering from the sore neck. Doc Rivers out of the half-court set, doing what he can do, penetrate and slam, had 12 points on the night. In the third quarter, the Knicks opened it up, and an 18-6 run finished it essentially a 3-on-1 break. Bonner finishes with 16, and Riley's crew wins their 5th road game of the season as Dallas drops to 1-5. The Knicks lineup tonight looks just about the same. Patrick Ewing will give it a go again. He shot just 2 of 10 last night at the forwards. Anthony Mason still trying to adjust to the starter's role. He's had some problems so far. Charles Oakley leading the Knicks, 14 rebounds a game. Doc Rivers again in the backcourt with John Starks. They will face this lineup for the San Antonio Spurs. David Robinson averaging 26 points, 8 rebounds a game, season high 43 points earlier in the year. Willie Anderson coming back from the surgery, shooting just 35% at 14 points a game. Ellis at 1 forward, and a change in the starting lineup that we've just discovered. It will not be Chris Whitney, it will be Nigel Knight who will get the start. Rodman has just 31 points in the team's first 7 games on 12 of 18 shooting. So all kinds of problems for the San Antonio Spurs so far this season. Let's go down to San Antonio, where the Tex-Mex food is the best in the country, bar none. The country that Marv Albert right now is residing in, with the man who has taught him virtually everything about team defense and wordsmanship too, Walt Frazier. Let's go to Dow. Let's go to San Antonio, I should say.
All right, Mike, yes, it is San Antonio. You're looking at the spanking new Alamo Dome. They expect a crowd of 17,000 tonight for the Knicks and the Spurs. The Knicks coming off the easy win in Dallas last night. They're now 7-0, pulling away from the pack in the Atlantic Division, while San Antonio off to a shaky start, record of 3 up, 4 down, trailing 7-0 Houston and 5-2 Utah. Now, the major bright spot for the Spurs has been the rebounding of Dennis Rodman. What a job he has done off the boards, averaging about 20 per game to lead the NBA. And Clyde, I'd have to say that he is probably the most unique rebounding forward in terms of style in the history of the league.
Really, at only 6'8", 210, Marv, you're right. So he's a very relentless rebounder. As you'll see here, Dennis really asserting himself on the glass, currently leading the NBA in bounding an astounding 20 per game. So Dennis proving, Marv, that maybe blondes do have more fun.
Yes, I never thought of it like that. Incredibly, he has averaged more rebounds per game than the number of shots that he's taken all season. He's 12 for 18, that's it, in terms of field goal attempts. Now, last season, the Knicks took both meetings against San Antonio, including an overtime affair here in April. And a man who had a big game, along with Patrick Ewing, was Doc Rivers. Doc with season high, shot very well, and was able to exploit the matchup at that time against Avery Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson 6'1". Tonight it'll be Nigel Knight, who's also 6'1". Rivers, of course, 6'4". So he will look to exploit, especially off the dribble. So Rivers good in transition with the good stuff. But the main play to look for tonight, folks, is the pick and roll. This play right here, where Rivers is very adept off the dribble and going to the hoop.
In that game last season, back in April, 44 minutes for Doc Rivers and a season high of 24 points. And he will be going up, as you mentioned, against the shorter point guard in Nigel Knight, who started the game in Denver last night. John Lucas doing a lot of shuffling at the point guard spot. When we come back in just a moment, Mike Breen will be talking with Charles Oakley, who had a solid game against the Mavericks last night, 16 points and 11 rebounds. Now let's get back to Mike.
All right, thanks very much, Marv. And when we come back on Knicks Game Night, we'll find out just how far Bobby Hurley has come since his high school days in Jersey City. And we'll rejoin Mike Breen in San Antonio as he meets with the Knicks' solid oak, Charles Oakley. Stay with us. Much more to come on this edition of Welcome back to Knicks Game Night. Obviously, Doc Rivers loved to play against the San Antonio Spurs, as those stats showed you. Who's the Knicks leader in steals, though? It's Greg Anthony. You would expect that. Who is second? John Starks and Charles Oakley, which is an indication of just how dedicated Oakley is to the complete game. Mike Breen now is set to join us from San Antonio with more on the Oak Man.
Thank you, Mike. Last night in Dallas, another solid Knick victory and another solid performance from Charles Oakley. Seemed to enjoy himself a little bit at Reunion Arena last night. A little bit of everything from the Knicks co-captain. Charles shot well from the outside, 8 of 11 from the field, 16 points total for Oakley. Also, the usual superb defense, including a pretty impressive block shot. 8 on the total numbers, 11 rebounds, 2 steals, a couple of assists, and just another night's work for Charles Oakley, who continues to have a fabulous season. Is this the best start of your career thus far?
You know, it's a great start for the team. I think it's all us doing it together on the court. I think that we really focus and we're going to the court and we know what we have to do on the court, and we're just trying to do it every night.
Pat Riley said you haven't had one bad game yet. Do you agree?
Well, you know, it's a team effort. I really didn't play that well Saturday, but, you know, we got the win. That would count. We didn't have Patrick, we didn't have Charles, but all other guys who came off the bench really stepped up, and they're just doing great. Anthony Barnes, I think that Greg, Herb, and Hubert, all the guys who really coming in, really doing a great job and giving the start of the break. And when they come back out, we go back in and try to finish the other team off.
Charles, you mentioned team effort. Camaraderie is a big thing. You guys are all battling for minutes. You're really competing against each other for minutes, yet everybody's really supporting each other.
Well, I've been there since day one training camp. We knew we had 12 great guys, and only 5 guys that started, and we knew everybody would play sometime. And I think that the guys on the bench really just, you know, keep making composed when they come in and just trying to just do what they can to keep the lead. And like I said, when we come back on the court, you know, it's going to be nice. Like everybody play 25, 30 minutes. And, you know, as long as we get the win, I think everybody know what we're going for every night, and everybody focused in, and we just take it as it comes.
We know the rebounding. We know the defense now, where you're seeing some sensational passing from Charles Oakley this year. Where's all these fancy things coming from? Some last night were beauties.
Well, just, you know, within the game, I think that I always could pass the ball, and I just try to get to the open man any way I can. And guys on the team that know if they open, if I got the ball, 90% of the chance I'm going to throw it. And, you know, I'm cut down on my turnovers, trying to make the good pass. I'm not trying to force a lot this year. I think that's a key from passing and defense, and I'm trying to have a block shot every other game. So that's a couple of things, individual goals I'm trying to do.
You saw that one shot we just showed of your pass to Patrick. He blew the dunk. You say anything to him after the game about that?
Well, I told him I could have dunked it myself, but you know, the big fella hooked me up so many little passes like that in the course of a game. I see that when things weren't going his way, a couple of times I tried to get the ball to him, and you know, he just came and really gave a helping hand last night to be in there, and his presence really just paid off. You know, anytime we can get him to play and hurt, this and that's a plus, and you know, we can still win.
Charles, how much better is this year's Knicks better than last year's?
We better. You know, that we a year together, and everybody come back and focus on what we have to do this year, and really just playing the game. And we know what coach expects out of us on the court, and we try to do it. I think the first couple games, our defense wasn't great. I think it's picking up as the season goes.
Any specific goals for you? Just talk about, you know, averaging double-doubles, 10 points, 10 rebounds?
Well, you know, the goal is, you know, every night to come out and get a win with the team. And individual goal is, you know, it's not none of that, I think, on this team. We all out for the same thing. Just come out every night and play hard and get a win.
Charles Oakley off to a great start this year for the Knicks. Now let's go back to Mike Crispino in the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. You know, with each successive victory, the Knicks set a new record for franchise winning streaks to open a season. There are, however, not the same kind of expectations in Sacramento, California, but with a certain guard from Jersey City leading the way, the Kings could soon be living up to their names. Bobby Hurley's story coming up next on Knicks Game Night. Stay with us. Welcome back to Knicks Game Night from our New York studios. They said he was too small. They said he was too small to have an impact in any level of basketball, but Bobby Hurley has proved them all wrong, especially on the big college level. The next step has now been made. He's averaging 7 points and 7 assists in the NBA with the Sacramento Kings. He is now taking the first steps towards proving another set of critics wrong.
I always dreamed of doing that. I envisioned myself as an NBA All-Star and making moves out here on the court and trying to be like some of those players like Isaiah Thomas and different guys like that. But I never thought it would happen to me, and I'm just real lucky, I guess, and real fortunate. Well, I just want to try and make them better and just give it my best each time out and make sure that I'm ready to go when the season starts and just try and do whatever I can for the franchise.
What kind of outside expectations have you felt being a first-round pick so far?
I felt it a lot initially early on in the year, and I think I put a little more pressure on myself than I had to. I'm starting to relax more and just play, and the fact that we're winning, I think, is really helping things.
What are you good at, do you think, in this league so far?
Well, the thing that I'm really happy about, that still there were little questions in my mind about would I be able to get to the basket in the league, and I think I've been able to do that. I've been able to get inside the defenses, and I think that's really important for a point guard to be able to create offense.
Kicks ahead to Williams, in the middle to Hurley. Look out now, left wing feed to Williams. Spins it on the glass, he scores, and he's fouled. He almost mishandled it. Hurley hit him just right.
New kid Bobby Hurley. So far, so good?
Very pleased. Outstanding young man, fine family background, and everything that we'd hoped for as a basketball player, all that Mike Krzyzewski said he would be, and he's going to be an outstanding player in our league.
How do you assess what he's doing well right now?
Well, he's a very unselfish player. That's the number one thing. He distributes the ball very well on the break as well as in the half court, defends every single night, and I think the key word here is experience. Once he grows and plays more minutes and feels more comfortable, the game is going to come easier to him, and I will share with you that we have an awful lot of confidence in the young man.
I think the thing about, Bobby, the advantage he has is that he comes in, he gets the opportunity to play, and he's not really thrown out to play 45 minutes and to try and win games for you. He's just trying to distribute the ball and run the team, which is somewhat of a burden off of his shoulders.
He's playing first and third quarter, and Spud Webb is playing second and fourth, and it's wonderful when they announce him in the starting lineup, and it's wonderful to see him matched up against guys that he's dreamed of playing against, but he's still going through an adjustment period.
Spud's been great for me. He's really talked about different players that I was going to face, and just little things that he sees in the game that I might not see. Offensively and defensively, he's shown me a couple of things. He really knows the game. He knows how to play NBA style.
He said that you don't call him up and give him any pointers yet. Is that true?
Well, I have seen all 4 games. If you'd like my notes, they're available for the, for my observations of the first 4 games he's played.
The difficulties of turning into a California guy coming from the East.
It's tough. I mean, it's a different lifestyle. And, no good Italian food around anywhere.
That's tough.
Can't find any of that, but it's still, the people have been great in Sacramento. They really, been nice to me and everything, so it's working out good. There's not really the media attention there that there would be here, and a lot of expectations initially. I think out there I'll have time to learn and really develop. There's going to be some times where I'm going to be making mistakes, I guess rookie mistakes and things, and to be in a situation like Sacramento is probably better for me.
He used to tell people that his dream was to play at St. Anthony's, to play college basketball, and play in the NBA. And he used to be like 9 or 10 years old, and maybe that big, Mike. And everybody used to smile and say, oh, that's cute. Well, he managed to do it.
He's fun, likes to play, and it shows.
It's just another step, and it's a big step, and I think for me it's just realizing my dreams.
So here's the early report card on Bobby Hurley. Shooting's been off, way off, 33% from the field. That's not like him, but the turnovers are very much in line. Just 2 a game so far for Sacramento. His New York area pro debut against the Nets, well, he'd like to forget about that, I think. Kenny Anderson had 26 points, 16 assists in that ball game. Bobby Hurley did not have his best game, so he's got plenty to learn, especially on the defensive side when the Nets toasted Sacramento by 30 earlier this week in New Jersey. Well, he's got another shot, though, Saturday, December 4th. The Knicks will be wrapping up a 5-game homestand, and they will be hosting Bobby Hurley and the Sacramento Kings in a matinee here at Madison Square Garden. Coming up next, Knicks game night, some highlights of the Nets in Boston. Pistons are hosting Shaquille O'Neal in Orlando tonight, and Michael Jordan back on the court again in North Carolina this time. That's next on Knicks game night.
promise, Michael. 11:30 p.m. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're talking trust here.
Mm-hmm.
And trust.
Trust is golden.
Golden.
And honey, just because the car comes with dual airbags doesn't mean you fly down the road at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Right.
So,
what do you think?
Sure, but maybe you guys should think about leasing your own.
Bye, sweetie. Bye.
The Integra Performance Lease, available exclusively at your local Acura dealer.
What would you do with a Motorola Pager?
Mom's not home. Pager.
With a Motorola Pager, the important people in your life can always reach you.
Ooh, this works.
The affordable, portable Motorola Pager. What would you do with a Motorola Pager?
Okay, you got the pager number, right?
Right.
Okay. Just one other thing. Okay. Now, just go buy some.
Let's go.
Ready to go?
A Motorola Pager gives you the peace of mind to do the things that are important to you.
We're going out.
The affordable, portable Motorola Pager.
How many times did Jim Bowden's hat fall off in the third game in the '64 World Series?
37 times.
Give the kid a break. What does Hubert Davis like on his pizza?
Pepperoni and pineapple.
Give the kid a break. Who gave Pepper Johnson his nickname?
His Aunt Trish.
Give the kid a break. Give the kid a break.
Nobody knows sports like the Times.
Things haven't been that great with Steve and me for a while, so it's not a total surprise. Believe me, it's still a little scary being on your own now. You really need to start thinking about money. I haven't begun to think about that. When I went through this, I sat down with a broker over at P. Weber. He looked at my...
What's Michael Jordan been doing with all his free time lately? Well, he's been going back to school. High school, that is. His former high school in Wilmington, North Carolina. On Monday, Michael showed up at 9 a.m. Just a little bit late for school. His first public appearance in Wilmington in 2 years. Delaney High School officials tried to keep it secret, but the buzz started early when Jordan showed up. It was enlightening for him to meet the high schoolers.
I wanted them to give me some input in terms of what they wanted to know from me, and you know, I haven't had that in 12 years, and I just got the chance to do that, so I'm happy I did.
He's a great inspiration. I like him very much, you know, and this is my first time. I wish all my life I could meet him, and now I get my chance.
And Michael later would say the place hasn't changed much since he was there in high school. Miami Heat are riding a modest 3-game winning streak, and they're feeling unusually rich senses of team unity. So, to express that a little bit differently, they symbolize their newfound togetherness. 10 of 12 of them shave their heads. Matt Geiger, John Sally, the human Q-tip himself, Manute Bol. The only exceptions, Bimbo Coles and Ronnie Cycli.
Well, unless we go to the finals, then I'm going to shave it. And look ugly in front of 20 million people. I think Harold and Grant look the best. Matt looks horrible. He looks like a Hare Krishna member.
Ronnie Cycli, the one of 2 Miami Heat not to shave it all off, and I don't blame him either. We leave you with this from the Wow File tonight. Mark Harwell, 6'4" forward out of Prairie View University, the hoopster, completed the 1988 LA Marathon on this day, dribbling a basketball the entire 26.2 miles, and afterwards said, "I couldn't have done it without my basketball to keep me company. It would have been too boring otherwise." That's a sentiment others might agree with at this point. There's no chance for that being bored tonight, because coming up next, the Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs, David Robinson and company, hosting the unbeaten New York Knicks on the MSG Network. Thanks for joining us on Knicks Game Night.
New York Knicks Game Night has been brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships.
Okay, classic cars.
63 Vette.
Split window.
Right.
68 Camaro Super Sport.
GTO, any year.
Nice. Gran Torino.
Starsky and Hutch. Good car.
65 Mustang Ragtop.
It's obvious.
75 Pacer.
Tail fin.
Bumper bullets.
Bench seats.
Drive-ins. Boss 302s.
427 big block LED8 with an 850 double pump.
Beechwood aged Budweiser. Crisp, clean, classic.
Rimology by Shaquille O'Neal. The engineers worked the numbers. They figured and refigured. They said it was indestructible. They said it was Shaq-proof.
maybe they should check their math.
What's happening at Mobile? Let's take a look.
Our Super Plus detergent gasoline not only cleans fuel injectors and intake valves.
It also controls deposits in the very heart of your engine. Down here, the cylinders and pistons.
New York Knicks get together with the San Antonio Spurs. Patrick Ewing and David Robinson share the spotlight as the marquee matchup. But the Demolition Man has burst onto the San Antonio scene in his own special way. The NBA's leading rebounder is on top once again, averaging a remarkable 20 rebounds per game. The Knicks counter with their own rebounding machine in Charles Oakley, who is off to the best start of his career and currently is the league's number 3 man off the boards. Tonight, the unpredictable Dennis Rodman and the San Antonio Spurs host Charles Oakley and the 7-0 New York Knicks. San Antonio has struggled in the early going with a record of 3-4, trailing 7-0 Houston and 5-2 Utah in the Midwest Division, while the Knicks at 7-0 are off to the fastest start in the history of the franchise, and tonight they'll try to make it 6 out of 6 on the road. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Walt Clyde Frazier, who's sitting in tonight for John Andres. We touched a moment ago on that matchup off the boards between Charles Oakley and Dennis Rodman, but the other matchup of great significance, Patrick Ewing and David Robinson. Ewing, though, still bothered by the sprained neck, as we saw last night in Dallas against the Mavericks. But last season, Clyde, in the 2 meetings between these clubs, Ewing severely outplayed Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson, a second-team All-NBA defensive player. But what he must do, folks, watch this play. He's allowing Ewing to post him inside. He must work harder to deny this pass inside. Okay, we see, look at another play. Watch Robinson. He's behind Ewing. Ewing now only 10 feet away, and he's very difficult to deny when he spins into the paint.
Ewing averaged 28 per game against Robinson in the 2 meetings last year. Ewing with the edge off the boards. Robinson averaged only 19 per game. And look at that free throw shooting. David Robinson 8 for 24 from the line, although he was bothered by an injured thumb. The major problem, though, for the Spurs, solving who is the point guard. They've gone from Eric Sleepy Floyd to a rookie, Chris Whitney, to Nigel Knight, who will make his second straight start. He was in the starting lineup last night against Denver. It will be Knight tonight going up against Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Knight is on the point tonight. The jury's still out on him, Marv. With Phoenix, he didn't play that often. There's Knight, 6'1", 185. A lot of pressure on his shoulders now to try to be an orchestrator for the Spurs.
So will be Nigel Knight at the point guard position. The Knicks and the Spurs are coming up from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and it will be Charles Oakley and Dennis Rodman in what should be a sparkling matchup off the boards. We'll be right back. Well, Crystal Smith with the singing of our national anthem as you look at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. This is the Knicks' first regular season visit to the Alamo Dome. They were here in preseason. In fact, suffered their only defeat of the preseason, losing in the final seconds to the Spurs. Last night in Dallas, easy win for the Knicks, 103-90. That final score does not indicate what actually took place. It was a wipeout and extensive garbage time for a good portion of the second half. While the Spurs last night in Denver ended their road trip with an 86-74 win. First road win of the season for the Spurs. As we check out the Hertz starting lineup, let's join with the public address.
State number 14, Anthony Mason. Other forward, 6'9", from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. One guard, 6'5", from Oklahoma State, number 3, John Starks. The other guard, 6'4", from Marquette, number 25, Doc Rivers. And at center, 7 foot from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. Head coach for New York, Pat Riley, assisted by Dick Carter, Jeff Van Gundy, trainers Mike Saunders and Tim Walsh. Introducing tonight's Pizza Hut Ball Girl, 5'2" Kate Baldwin from Bernie Middle School.
Y'all ready for this?
All right, everybody, it's time to get off your seat and on your feet. Bring them out, yours, San Antonio Spurs. One forward, 6'7" from Tennessee, number 3, Dale Ellis. The other forward, 6'8", from Southeast Oklahoma State, number 10, Dennis Rodman. One guard, 6'1", from Dayton, number 32, Nigel Knight. The other guard, 6'8", from Georgia, number 40, Willie Anderson. And our man in the middle, 7'1" center for the U.S. Naval Academy, number 15, David Robinson. Head coach for the Spurs, John Lucas, by Ron Adams, George Gervin, John Thibodeau, trainer John Anderson.
Y'all ready
Officials for tonight's game.
And there's John Lucas in his second season as head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs still searching for a starting point guard, as we mentioned right at the top. John Lucas has shuffled right from the start of the season, and we talked about that with John.
We need a leader. David is a leader in name. Dennis is a leader in name. But we need our own court floor leader. And that's one thing that's lacking us, especially coming down the stretch. We've won games where we haven't scored a lot in the fourth quarter simply because we don't have that guy on the floor to take it over, get us where we need to be.
Well, Clyde, John Lucas hoping that Nigel Knight is the answer. Started last night at point guard, came over about a week and a half ago from the Phoenix Suns. Really has not practiced much with the team.
So that takes away some of your continuity when you're still learning the plays. You are very tentative on the offense. Had 8 points, all of those from the line, did not score from the field.
This trade value dropping off in recent years. Teams at one point were offering first-round draft picks only 2 years ago, but his playing time severely cut back, hit by injury, and it appeared that the Phoenix Suns soured on him. In fact, went with the veteran Frank Johnson at key moments last year. The officials, Bill Oakes, Bill Spooner, and Ron Alesiak. And I'm told that Dennis Rodman has become even more, I guess, blonder. Would that be the correct way of capturing it?
You think it's the hair, Mark, that has him energized on the glass?
Well, he was asked about it. He said just wants to do something outrageous, and he has certainly succeeded. All right, David Robinson working against Patrick Ewing as the Spurs control the opening tip. That's Knight, played by Rivers. Willie Anderson guarded on a switch. And here is Ellis. Tipped by Rodman, and now rebounded by Mason. Last year, San Antonio finished last in rebounding. This year, with the addition of Rodman, they are number 7. Starks. And Knight starts back. Knight picked up on the switch by Oakley. Shovels to Rodman. Well, there's a rare field goal opportunity for Dennis Rodman. Coming into tonight, he had attempted only 18 shots, 12 for 18. Actually, John Lucas would like him to shoot more.
And I look for the Knicks to exploit that. They can double team Robinson and leave over and Rodman.
And a reach-in foul is called.
You mentioned that they are better on the offensive glass, Marv, since the acquisition of Rodman. But they're woeful as an offensive team, only averaging 90 points per game, so they really miss Sean Elliott as well.
Ewing called for that foul. Yes, last night with the victory over Denver, they managed only 86 points. 74 points by Denver, the lowest total ever scored by a San Antonio opponent. Open shot for Knight. And Ewing with the rebound. No score here in the early going with a minute and a half gone by. Mason, yes.
Mason has not been comfortable at the starting assignment since he's been filling in for Charles Smith. That time a good shot along the baseline.
Yes, this is 6th straight start in place of the injured Charles Smith. Is it possible some players are, as Anderson shoots over Mason, are more comfortable coming off the bench? In particular, Mason, who provided a changeup. That's a loose ball foul called on Oakley. Anthony Mason would come in very often against second-team players and would really provide a changeup in terms of the offense.
Yeah, he would also be the focal point of the offense without Ewing in the game.
Nice move by Robinson. And the game is tied at 2.
Matador D by Patrick that time. Robinson utilizing his quickness to get to the hoop.
David Robinson only 6 for 18 last night against the Denver Nuggets. Mason gets inside. He draws the foul. So Anthony Mason will go to the line.
Mace always resourceful on the offensive glass. So Mace 6'7", 250 pounds. That time Rodman allowing him to get excellent position underneath the left side.
Anthony Mason last night played 21 minutes. There you see the number, 6 points, 6 rebounds against the Mavericks in Dallas.
Continues to struggle from the line, only 50%.
And the Knicks, after shooting so well at the foul line over the first 3-4 games, have now gone the other way.
Settled down, you might say. Last season, collectively shooting about 76% from the line.
The Knicks 3 and the Spurs 2. Miguel Knight setting it against Doc Rivers. Anderson was close to a travel, rejected and a foul.
Good move by Anderson. So that time he saw Mason on him. He know he has the quickness on Mason. So Mason gave up the baseline, which is a Cardinal stand. Ewing charged with the foul. Watch the quickness of Anderson along the baseline. That causes the defense to collapse. Patrick, well, that was sort of a dubious call, but Ewing charged with the foul.
And that is the second on Patrick Ewing. So Pat Riley has a decision to make right here with just 2.5 minutes gone by. Patrick Ewing picks up the quick 2.
Ewing historically has not been a player that could play with fouls on him. So there you saw Riley. You could hear him thinking, should I take him out? Should I leave him?
Willie Anderson providing a 1-point lead for the Spurs, and Pat Riley has made his decision. Herb Williams walking over to the scorer's table. Starks for Ewing, and Ewing was pushed. Foul called on Rodman. Here comes Herb Williams.
Herb has been outstanding filling in for Patrick, especially on the offensive end. You know that he's a good defensive player and rebounder, but providing some offense as well.
So the matchup is now Herb Williams against David Robinson. Goes right to Williams. And he draws the foul. He was hacked. Foul committed by Knight, who was trying to help out.
Both teams very lackadaisical on the defense, and they also are playing defense with their hands and not their feet, and that's why all the fouls are called here early on.
So the Knicks here at the start, 1 for 3 at the foul line. Wow, that was way off. Just did get a piece of the rim. Ellis getting position and using the height advantage against John Starks, so the Spurs lead 6-3. Deflected out by Ellis.
The Spurs running the motion offense, and they're looking for Ellis coming over the screens along the baseline. That time a good screen to free him up.
Knight got picked off. Rivers leading Oakley. Rejected by Robinson. Oakley hanging in. Oakley again. Third attempt by Charles Oakley.
The tenacity of the Oakman that time.
Spurs 6 and the Knicks 5. Robinson trying to feed Rodman, but a bad pass.
Good help that time from the weak side to force the turnover. And the Knicks running a similar offense for Starks, looking to free him up along the base line.
Charles Oakley hitting the outside shot. He had an excellent game last night, 8 of 11, 16 points, 11 rebounds, and showing much confidence now with the outside touch. The Knicks 7 and the Spurs 6 with 4 minutes gone by. Robinson to the reverse.
And the weak side help was late, so Robinson able to manipulate along the baseline.
And San Antonio takes a 1-point lead. We are at the Alamo Dome, the spanking new structure here in San Antonio. Herb Williams. And the Knicks lead by 1. Capacity here is 20,500. They did open things up for Golden State for the first game of the season. That's an offensive foul on Miguel Knight. They had 36,000 for the opener. That's an NBA opening night record. They expect in the area of 17 here this evening.
That time, good defense by Rivers, vexing Knight, forcing the foul.
Well, what do you think about the line of sight for the baskets? I know players often complain in arenas like this that it's difficult. I'm sure San Antonio players will complain because they have not been shooting well. John Starks able to bury the jump shot. You like the...
No, it's a poor background for shooting, because nothing stops it. You just see it into oblivion.
Reminds me of the Silverdome setup in Pontiac before the Pistons moved to the Palace. Timeout has been called. Fouls called on Starks. We'll be right back. Cord, this is what you are looking at as you are shooting at the basket.
And invariably, you find yourself staring into the crowd rather than at the hoop. As you can see there, you can see right through the basket. So, previous play, Ellis was able to manipulate inside to draw the fouls.
What did you find as the best background or the best baskets to shoot at in the league?
I was efficient on all of them, actually.
Yes.
But my favorite was, I would say, Madison Square Garden. I like those hoops there. I really liked them when they had the guide wires. When I was a rookie, those the old style baskets.
Where I remember they had them up in Syracuse, but that was before
they had them
time.
in Boston. They had them at the old Madison Square Garden. They were like drop pockets. If you hit the ball on the front of the rim, it would bounce in.
What was the toughest place for you?
Milwaukee.
All right, here's Starks. And Pat Riley upset. He felt there was a foul. Anderson pass, batted away. Williams with the save. The Knicks lead by 1. 6:15 remaining in this first quarter. Here's Rivers for 3. Oh, he got the friendly rim. That's a 3-pointer for Doc Rivers, who had a season high of 24 against the Spurs last season in that overtime victory at the Hemisphere in San Antonio. Robinson, rebound Rodman. Well, Dennis Rodman with his second shot, and he's able to hit. Mason goes right at him. Anthony Mason with a power drive going right at Dennis Rodman, and the Knicks now lead 16-12.
The pace has quickened, better continuity by both teams.
Last night against Denver, Rodman attempted only 1 shot. He did hit it. He had 23 rebounds in 44 minutes of play. Robinson.
Normally a shot you would
London.
take a perimeter shot, but Dave, now the focal point of this offense, improving his perimeter shooting.
Knicks remaining the same following the timeout. Herb Williams on the floor. Coming on for Patrick Ewing, who picked up the 2 fouls early. Mason posting up Rodman. Goes to the fadeaway. The tip by Oakley. What a play by Charles Oakley, stepping in front of David Robinson, who did not box him out. The Knicks 18 and San Antonio 14. Robinson again.
I'm surprised the Knicks are not looking to double team him, especially Rodman's man should go and try and double team, force Rodman to take the perimeter shot.
Robinson has hit 4 out of 5. He has 8 points. Williams. And last touch by the Knicks.
Knicks doing an excellent job on the glass now, getting second opportunities.
Try to rev up the crowd. One of the complaints about this arena as Ellis gets inside is that the crowd is not as loud as has been the case at the Hemisphere, the previous home court for the San Antonio Spurs. And that call made away from the ball. It's on David Robinson. It's a hold. That is his second foul.
Yeah, a lot of imprudent fouls going on. Ewing on the bench because of foul woes. Now Robinson heads to the bench. Carr also foul prone. He will check in.
Robinson sits down, 8 points on 4 out of 5 from the field. Antoine Carr now on the floor, matched. No, Dennis Rodman is guarding Herb Williams. Carr will guard Mason. Herb Williams going high off the glass.
We mentioned Herb very resourceful off the bench. So Rodman giving up a lot of height to Herb Williams at 6'10".
Herb Williams has hit 2 out of 3, 4 points. Knicks lead by 4. Anderson wide open. Rebounded by Mason. Thinking back to the matchups of the Knicks in Detroit, there would be occasions where Dennis Rodman would go up against Patrick Ewing. That's a 3-pointer for John Starks. So the Knicks have hit 2 from downtown. Rivers and now Starks. The Knicks open up a 7-point lead. It's their biggest lead of the night. .3:15 remaining in the first quarter. Carr. Ellis knocks it out of bounds.
The Spurs have had a propensity to go into offensive stupors. You can see now they're lacking the fluidity on the offense. So good defense by the Knicks.
This would be an offensive stupor right here. Patrick Ewing sitting it out after picking up the 2 personal fouls. Herb Williams has come on and done a nice job. Knicks have a 7-point lead. Starks.
Second violation that time. Oakley the culprit.
And the Knicks take a timeout, up by 7. We'll see the head coach of an NBA team shooting around and sweats prior to the game. But John Lucas is not your usual kind of guy. He and the Iceman, George Gervin, this is prior to every game, will play a one-on-one matchup. And they go up to 10, 15 minutes before game time. Did you see? Now there's George Gervin with a, that's got to be the largest retired number in the history of sports. A mural on the wall here at the Alamo Dome. He and James Silas. Antoine Carr hits. James Silas, a star with the old Spurs of the ABA. Could you see Pat Riley in a round robin with assistant coaches Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy?
No.
Just minutes before game time? I think Ernie Grunfeld would want a piece of that game. 2:20 remaining in this first quarter. Oakley wide open. Beautiful pass. And the Knicks lead 25-18.
Spurs double teaming. They forgot about Oakley underneath.
Marv Albert with Walt Clyde Frazier, who is sitting in tonight for John Andres. Here's Rodman. Finger roll for Rodman.
Rodman has his average now of 4 points, previously scoring off the left side.
Starks for 3. Mason back for Starks. The Knicks have a 5-point lead. Rivers. And the Spurs looking to run. Rivers with the steal. He stripped Knight. And Rivers regroups, looking for the pick. Shot clock at 5. Starks, able to whip right through. Easy penetration.
Yeah, no weak side help. No intensity on the D by the Spurs. They are also without an intimidator now with Robinson on the bench.
The Knicks 27, San Antonio 20. Lloyd Daniels, who just checked in, working against Anthony Mason. Here's Antoine Carr. Ellis trying to keep it alive. Starks rescues. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. And it's kicked knocked out of bounds by Carr. Vinny Del Negro comes on for the first time for San Antonio, and the Knicks counter with Anthony Bonner and Greg Anthony coming on for the first time tonight. I mentioned Walt Frazier sitting in for John Andres, who was attending the services of a close friend and an ardent Knick fan, Howard Cobb, who passed away this past Monday. Our best to his wife, Minnie, and the Cobb family. All of us at the MSG Network. John will be back on Saturday when the Knicks go up against Utah. Charles Oakley giving the Knicks a 29-20 lead, and Oakley is the high man with 10 points. Daniels. Lloyd Daniels. The Knicks lead by 7. And they are holding for a final shot of the quarter. Starks for 3. Oakley. Charles did well to get that up.
Yeah, the Spurs are just standing watching. A dreadful first quarter by them. A good effort by the Knicks.
So after 1 in San Antonio, the Knicks lead by 7. A reminder, AT&T will present the 1993 YMCA Sports Auction at Madison Square Garden coming up Thursday, December the 2nd, starting at 5:30 p.m. An opportunity to bid on a half-hour hockey lesson with a couple of New York Ranger players, the chance to be a honorary Knicks ball boy or ball girl for a night, plus other terrific items while benefiting New York City's youth. Call 630-YMCA for information and tickets. Off the steal, Del Negro moves it back. Carr is up front along with Ellis and Rodman. Daniels and Del Negro are at the guards. Here's Daniels. Kept alive by Ellis, who pops. Ellis recovers.
The guards must remain inside to deny the deep rebounds. So that time, Greg, the culprit.
Greg Anthony now in the backcourt with Hubert Davis, who just came on. Carr, Bonner, Ewing, and Oakley up front. So Patrick Ewing is back. Hubert Davis did not play last night in Dallas. In a very nice gesture, Pat Riley going with the former Maverick. Rolando Blackman, and Davis hits on his first field goal. Blackman started the game, his first start since last March. That is a gesture to a player who had a terrific career in Dallas. As a result, there was just no time in the rotation for Hubert Davis, and I would think he did not want to put him in during the garbage time in the fourth quarter.
Well, there you see Blackman. Hubert says that Rowe is his idol, so I'm sure he didn't mind stepping aside for Rowe.
Del Negro, it counts, and the foul.
So both teams are struggling on the defense. The Spurs have been pathetic that time. The Knicks not getting help. Watch this. Ewing too late. Good kiss off the glass by Del Negro. He's at the line to try and complete the three-point play.
A foul committed by Greg Anthony, Vinny Del Negro, in his 4th NBA season out of North Carolina State. Played for Sacramento 2 years, went to Italy for a couple of seasons, and the Spurs brought him back to the NBA with a 6-year contract last season. The Knicks lead by 6. Just underway in the second quarter. David Robinson has returned, playing Davis on a switch. Here is Bonner. Oh, he line drives it home.
Not renowned for his perimeter shooting, but has been efficient, especially the last 2 games from the perimeter.
6 for 8 overall last night against the Mavericks. Daniels. Anthony Mason getting set to return. Greg Anthony delivers to Charles Oakley. Tough pass to handle. Did well to get to it. Anthony. And he's running too. Greg Anthony coming off an 0 for 6 last night. And he was hammered by Carr.
So you see the Knicks passing. Watch the ill-advised foul by Carr. Greg already soaring for the hoop, but Carr renowned for his asininity, so Greg at the line for 2.
And the the Knicks are struggling at the line. Greg Anthony is now 9 for 13 at the foul line this season. The Knicks tonight 1 for 5 from the line.
See Riley, look of concern on his face. His team's not performing well thus far.
But still, the Knicks lead 34-25. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Knicks coming at 7-0. The best start in the history of the franchise. Robinson. Well, David Robinson has the touch. Most of the scoring has come from outside. He's 5 of 6, 10 points.
And Ewing not guarding him because of his foul woes.
Now the matchup is Rodman against Bonner. And that call away from the ball as Bonner hit the deck. Foul committed by Daniels.
That time the Spurs asserting themselves on the defense. The first time we've seen that tonight. But that time Daniels overzealous, creating the foul.
Switch that, Rob, switch that.
Davis works off the screen. He's been on a switch. Gets it to Ewing. Draws the double team. Can't find the shot. And the Spurs have the numbers. Del Negro. The Knicks lead 34-29.
Del Negro has been the catalyst providing the offensive punch.
Robinson switching off. Anthony checks the shot clock. It's down to 5. Anthony beat Del Negro. Ewing, yes. Patrick Ewing with his first field goal. The Knicks lead 36-29.
Greg becoming more adept at creating off the dribble. That time finding Patrick.
Daniels. Well, Lloyd Daniels using the glass effectively.
Former schoolboy sensation out of New York City.
Yes, no one ever questioned that he had the talent. Only whether his off-court problems would ruin a career before it started. Things have settled down in the life of Lloyd Daniels.
And now another foul by Daniels, previously overzealous on the left side, this time on the right side, the curl play. So the Knicks not in the penalty. They will have it along the right sideline.
Mason, Ewing, and Bonner now on the Knick front line. Davis and Anthony in the backcourt. Davis using the screen. Anthony Bonner set the pick. And Hubert Davis hits on his second field goal. The Knicks lead 38-31. And a foul is called. That will not count as Del Negro was making the move to the basket. He was hit by Mason.
So since Del Negro has been inserted into the game, he has provided a spark for the Spurs, especially on the offense. So he's made 2 consecutive hoops. This time getting penetration to draw the foul.
Remember when Jerry Tarkanian coached this team at the start of last year, he was going with Vinny Del Negro as the starting point guard. Once again, David Robinson.
But that experiment did not work. Del Negro not quick enough to play the point.
John Lucas opening tonight with Miguel Knight at point guard. Good play by Carr. He knocked it out of bounds. It will be Nick Paul. They have 15 on the 24.
Ewing has not been a factor, so he's been very careless with the ball, allowing Carr to knock it away 2 consecutive times.
Nice move by Davis, but decided to give it up. Met on a switch. Here is Davis. That was a 3-point attempt. Rebound Robinson. Five minutes in, second quarter. Del Negro, bad shot. Rodman nearly picked it off. And now it's taken by Bonner. 3-on-2 for the Knicks. Mason behind the back. Ewing puts it away.
Nice little knick-knack that time by Mace. Patrick with the good stuff.
The Knicks 40 and the Spurs 33. Timeout called by San Antonio. 6:37 remaining, first half. Moment brought to you by the team of Canon Technology and MCS Service. One is a great reason to buy the other, and we a moment ago saw some splendid teamwork by the Knicks.
Exploiting the Spurs in transition, but look at down the court now, folks. 3 Spurs not getting back. That's why John Lucas was irate and called a timeout.
Holding foul charged to Anthony Mason. Pat Riley staying with Ewing, Bonner, Mason up front, Davis and Anthony in the backcourt. 6.5. Oh, the steal by Anthony. 6.5 remaining in this first half. See the Knicks shooting 5 of 7 from the field in the second quarter. And Robinson rebounds. To this point, as once again the Spurs turn it over. Dennis Rodman has been neutralized off the boards, only 3 rebounds. Robinson with the steal, so things getting sloppy at both ends.
Greg, 2 consecutive steals from Del Negro.
Carr. Rodman with the rebound. Rodman being guarded by Bonner, Del Negro, and Mason gets to it. Charles Oakley getting set to return. Ewing played by Carr, and he's fouled. Antoine Carr picks it up. Now Charles Oakley checking back in, and the rookie from Clemson, 2nd-round draft pick, wearing number 20, Chris Whitney, come on for the first time. Anthony Bonner sitting down, and there's Whitney at the free throw line. To the right of Ewing.
You see Carr guarding Ewing because Robinson is in, well, foul roles. He has 2 fouls. And on the other end, Ewing not guarding Robinson because of his foul troubles.
And the Knicks are having foul troubles in terms of hitting their shots.
The worst we've seen all season. And we mentioned perhaps it's the background.
3 of 8 from the line for the Knicks. 5.5 remaining first half. Whitney guarded by Anthony. Carr had it knocked away by Anthony. This is Whitney with it. Robinson guarded by Mason. Robinson, and the rebound snatched by Ewing, pulling away from Carr. Ewing trying to take advantage of the mismatch against Carr. Oh, Mason is rocked. Whoa. Oh, they called it a charge on Mason. Carr took the hit.
Carr 6'9", 260. Mace 6'7", 250. So good defensive effort by Carr. Watch the opening, but watch it close quickly by Carr. So good call by the official.
That is a very powerful meeting. Anthony Mason and Antoine Carr, and neither guy wanted to demonstrate that they might have been even stunned for an instant.
What you call a collision.
Mason sitting down after collecting his 3rd foul. Robinson, David Robinson on target, 7 of 9. 14 points.
I'm surprised that the Knicks are not looking to double team Robinson, the only offensive force here.
Ewing played well by Carr. The Knicks lead by 6 with 4:20 remaining first half. Anthony Bonner came on for Anthony Mason. And Bonner guarding Robinson. Daniels for 3. Rodman to the rebound. Daniels. Ewing challenged him. Carr gets it out, and the Spurs continue to do the job off the offensive board.
Carr asserting himself now. 2 good defensive plays and now an offensive rebound.
Carr. Robinson, and a loose ball foul is called.
Robinson with the piggyback charge, so the Spurs over the limit. Good boxing out by Greg Anthony to draw the foul.
That is number 3 on David Robinson.
That one ill-advised because Greg had excellent positioning.
Doc Rivers checking back in, replacing Hubert Davis.
So watch Greg there. Good effort. Robinson obviously over the back. But the free throw line, a place of purgatory tonight for the Knicks.
Yes, the Knicks 3 of 8 from the line. Greg Anthony with 2 shots. He's 1 for 2 from the foul line.
Collectively, they've been shooting 79% from the line. With Ewing and Starks both having made over 20 consecutive free throw attempts.
Knicks with a 7-point lead. First of 2 meetings this season against San Antonio. Knicks took both last year, winning here in overtime last April. Knicks, though, have lost 4 of the last 5 here in San Antonio. They dropped 4 in a row before that overtime victory last season. Chris Whitney setting it up. David Robinson. Whitney guarded by Anthony. Shot clock at 5. Daniels for 3. Ewing with the save. It's a 24-second violation. Well, apparently play just continued. They had hit the rim. Kick home by Robinson.
Tenacious effort by Robinson. I guess they say Ewing had control when he threw it in.
Here is Ewing. So Patrick Ewing with his 3rd field goal. He has 7 points. The Knicks 45 and the Spurs 37. Robinson, Bonner fell down. He thought he would draw a foul.
Again, I'm baffled as to why the Knicks are not double teaming Dave and make someone else shoot from the perimeter.
David Robinson 9 for 11, 18 points. Well, Doc Rivers was about to check in. He stood at the scorer's table. Starks and Anthony in the backcourt. Ewing. And a loose ball foul called on the Knicks.
Knicks in disarray on the offense. You do not want Patrick meandering on the perimeter.
Foul called on Bonner. Timeout taken. We'll be right back.
The real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink. Know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
Very nicely done. Marv Albert with Walt Frazier.
Marv, you didn't write this for me, did you?
No. It's tailored for John Andrews.
There you go, Robinson. I'm still wondering why they're not double teaming this man. He's providing the offensive punch. He's not a good passer. He can't penetrate. So the judicious thing to do is to double team him, make him give up the ball.
David Robinson, 18 points. As you saw, he has scored Spurs' last 8 points. Knicks with a 6-point advantage. We're coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Shot clock at 3. Anderson has to force it. Rodman is popping them up here tonight, getting many opportunities.
Spurs also getting second opportunities.
Just under 2 minutes remaining first half. Robinson lost it. Patrick Ewing, being very careful, does not want to pick up a third, and Robinson also certainly had the foul situation in mind. He is playing with 3.
But Ewing playing soft is hurting the team. You want an aggressive Patrick Ewing in the game.
Well, the Knicks 19 of 35, 54%. Spurs have had a number of second opportunities, but only 17 of 43. Starks for 3. And a loose ball foul on the Knicks as Rodman is sent to the floor. Foul on Oakley.
Rodman continues to be omnipresent on the glass. That's why he leads the league in rebounding, an astounding 20 per game. There you see the eccentric, enigmatic Rodman. He's at the line for 2.
Eccentric. Well, Dennis, as you mentioned, over 20 per game. Started slowly. He now has 9. He's come on in the second quarter. Elijah Wan at 14 a game. Oakley just under 14 per game, followed by Mutombo and Polynice. What a fine situation in Detroit. On the subject of Olden Polynice, Isaiah Thomas breaks his hand on Bill Laimbeer's head by punching Laimbeer. And of course, earlier in the season, fine situation between Alvin Robertson and personnel director of the Pistons, Billy McKinney.
Very pugnacious team.
Yes, oh yes.
But I like what Lane Beer said. They asked him what was the relationship now with Isaiah. He said, we still love each other.
Oh, of course, yes. Robinson with the steal. Here's Anderson. The Spurs trail by 3.
The crowd aroused now. The Spurs looking to erupt.
Yes, sustained applause by the crowd here at the Alamo Dome. Bonner gets inside. A nice move by Anthony Bonner. He's now 3 of 3 from the field. Illegal defense called for the first time.
It's been a chronic problem for the Knicks this season. But the first one, only the warning. The second one will be the penalty.
40 seconds remaining in the half. Pat Riley just checking with his coaching staff, asking whether they have a 20-second remaining. See if he uses it here. Anderson. Rebound Oakley. He wants them to play. Pat Riley calling the play from the sideline. A lot of sideline also here at the Alamo Dome. It's got to be the widest sideline in the NBA. Starks going to change that shot in midair. Whitney checked the clock. Final seconds. Broken up by Rivers. He scoops it underhand and hits the front of the rim. That would have been sensational. Good first half in San Antonio. The Knicks 47 and the Spurs 42. Bob Page coming up at the MSG Sports Desk in just a moment. The Knicks with a 47-42 lead on the San Antonio Spurs, with both teams out warming up, getting ready for the second half. The Knicks shooting 53%, 20 of 38 in the first half. San Antonio only 18 for 44 for 41%. Off the board, slight edge for the Spurs. 9 apiece for Rodman and Oakley in their duel, although they have not been necessarily matched against each other. And at the free throw line, the Knicks have struggled. Only 5 of 10, while the Spurs 6 for 7 from the foul line. And the Toyota matchup, Patrick Ewing and David Robinson, have not been going up head-to-head for the most part in this first half because of the foul situation and the switching off. But in the first half, Ewing with 7 points, picked up those early fouls and then sat down. David Robinson had an excellent first half, although he does have 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, and I did not want to be redundant, Marv. I don't know why the Knicks are not looking to double team him, especially with the Rodman's man, and forcing Dennis to try to get involved in the offense. You would want Rodman to take a perimeter shot.
And there is Dennis Rodman with yet an addition to the look. He has added blonde hair, it appears. Dennis, not your low-key style athlete. We asked him earlier this season, is he at peace with himself at this point?
I'll never be at peace until my eyes are closed and I'm 6 feet under, I think. That sounds kind of crazy, don't it? But that's just the way I feel. I think I like the craziness. I like the wildness. I like the sound of it kind of sounds kind of stupid, but the sound of anger inside me, because it drives me to go do it even harder, even more, and try to perfect it.
You get the idea, Clyde, that Dennis will say whatever comes to his mind at that particular moment?
He definitely listens to a different drummer.
Well, he comes off a bizarre year in Detroit. Personal problems had him demanding a trade to selected cities. He missed or was late to more practices than any other player in the NBA. Still, he led the league in rebounding at 18 per game, and then was sent to San Antonio, acquired from Detroit in that deal for Sean Elliott, and he has certainly done the job with the Spurs. In his years in the Motor City, led the NBA in rebounding the last 2 seasons. NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 90 and 91. NBA All-Defensive First Team the last 5 seasons.
And I might say, Marv, I think he's the greatest defensive player to ever play the game because he can guard a player at the 2, 3, 4, 5 position.
That's a strong statement from one of the NBA's best defenders. Nice play, Starks taking that lead pass from Oakley to give the Knicks a 49-42 lead. In this first half, we saw Rodman going up briefly against Ewing, as he has done in the past while with Detroit.
Does an excellent job because he has the leverage on Patrick.
Three-pointer for Dale Ellis, who last year hit 119.
His number is symbolic. He's the all-time leader in threes in the NBA that have been made.
Yes, now has 35 more than Michael Adams of the Washington Bullets. Ewing was stripped, and then Oakley tied up by Rodman.
So just this matchup is worth the price of admission. Rodman, 6'7", 210. The Oak man, 6'9", 245. They will jump. Both players indefatigable. Oakley having an all-star season.
It's controlled by Robinson. Clyde, for a while I thought you left the thesaurus home, but I see it has reappeared.
I brought a small one.
I see a smaller version. Ellis guarded by Starks. Robinson. Rebound Oakley. Starks and Rivers in the backcourt. Mason, Ewing, Oakley up front. Ewing has the open shot. Yes. And the Knicks now lead 51-45. Ewing with 9 points.
Good unselfish look by John Starks to find Patrick.
Miguel Knight handling the ball, looking to set it up. Starting his second straight game at point guard. Good play by Ewing. Rodman.
Rodman will be charged with a delay of game warning. That time after he made the hoop, he slammed the ball to the floor.
And Dennis Rodman has hit 3 out of 5. He has 7 points in all. Knicks lead by 4.
Rodman's season high is 13.
Robinson now guarding Mason. Ewing. And back comes Willie Anderson. This is Miguel Knight for the pull-up. Just did get a piece of the front rim.
A little apprehension there by Knight.
Starks with a change of direction, trying to set up Mason.
Sometimes Starkey out of control. He leads the team in turnovers with 3 per game. A good idea, but the pass was awry.
And again on the public address, they are attempting to rev up this crowd.
Not with this pace.
Well, the complaint, as we mentioned earlier, is that this building is not as loud. Good play by Rivers. Just slaps it into the backcourt. Not as loud as the hemisphere. The previous home of the Spurs. Miguel Knight had to fling it.
Oh, it's good.
Nope, 24-second violation.
Yeah, it has to draw iron. It did not. Excellent defense by Rivers.
Very smart play by Doc Rivers to knock it into the backcourt because he knew he could not control it.
Knight not showing good dexterity with the ball. So he's been vexed by the swarming Doc Rivers.
John Lucas going with many different combinations at point guard. Sleepy Floyd, who has not played at all tonight, started the first 2 games at the point. Then the rookie Chris Whitney started 4. Starks not able to hit. Whitney did inject some life and tempo. Ellis. But now the Spurs are going with Miguel Knight for the 2nd straight game. And the Spurs now have moved within 2 points. Ewing. Ellis stopped by Starks and fouled.
So previously Starks missed a layup, and now Patrick Ewing. Also the Knicks with their Teflon defense now. Watch Ellis There are Starks creating the fouls. Number 3 is the most prevalent number in the NBA. 19 players wear that number.
Ellis.
Whoa.
But fielded by Rodman. Anderson. That was a three-point attempt. Doc Rivers. Mason tipping it back to Ewing. Starks for 3. Yes. John Starks with a three-pointer to extend the Knicks lead to 54-49. Second from downtown for Starks. Ewing knocking it aside. 13 on the 24.
That time you saw Rivers coming over with the double team. So the Knicks are looking to take the ball away from Robinson.
John Lucas taking a timeout with 7:39 left, third quarter. At the other side of the arena. Now this is the configuration for football at the Alamo Dome. They are still hoping to attract a National Football League franchise. And they can extend the seating. They had 36,000 for the opening night game against the Golden State Warriors. About 17,000 on hand tonight. The capacity at the 20,000 mark for tonight's game.
It's about the way the Iron Curtain looks now, Marv.
Yes. Rivers. And Doc Rivers gives the Knicks a 56-49 lead with 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Robinson lost it. Starks with the steal. Ewing handling and has it knocked away. Too much dribble by Patrick Ewing. Miguel Knight, beautiful move. And Rodman, Mason, and Oakley all got involved. Technical fouls are called. Looks like a double technical on Rodman and on Mason.
Yeah, but that time dramatic action. Starks with the steal. Watch Ewing out of his element trying to create. Robinson hustling back to force the turnover. And then Miguel Knight, the best move he's made this evening, that time wheeling around Oakley for the hoop.
Pushing and shoving between Mason and Rodman. And Rodman complained, and I can understand why. He's unhappy about the technical. It was really all Mason.
His reputation preceded him.
It'll go back to the Knicks.
Good idea by Knight to pass high and awry. We mentioned in the top of the show that he's just joined the team, so he's not familiar with his teammates.
He has not had an opportunity to practice with the club. He's gone through a couple of shoot-arounds. That has been it. 6:20 remaining in the third quarter. Oakley sets the pick. Ellis on the switch, handles Starks. Mason. Rebound is missed by Ewing. But the Knicks get the new 24.
Ewing missed a stuff shot last night in Dallas. So Patrick not getting up high enough on his dunk shots.
Ewing bothered by that sprained neck. And this time he makes certain.
Yeah, again, an excellent pass by John Starks.
11 for Ewing, along with 8 rebounds. The Knicks lead by 7 points. Robinson. He drew the foul. Foul committed by Oakley. It's a hack.
There's no weak side help by the Knicks that time. Robinson above the free throw line. A man that's 7 feet tall should not be able to penetrate. Watch the left side of your screen. Oakley, the Matador D, allowing him to swoop to the hoop.
You mentioned several times earlier wondering why the Knicks would not double team. I know it's Pat Riley's philosophy to go one-on-one. He rarely will double up. They did against Jordan from time to time, but I know they resisted that for a while.
Yeah.
Yep. Two schools of thought concerning whether you double up or whether you go straight up.
One of Riley's idiosyncrasies on the D.
Well, David Robinson with his first free throws. And the Knicks now lead 58-49. Mason with the fake called for step. Basket won't count.
Mace not showing much confidence in his perimeter shot. Looking to penetrate too often.
San Antonio with Knight and Anderson at the guards. Ellis, Robinson, and Rodman up front. Rodman to the drive. Finger roll is missed. Rodman with the rebound, and he is fouled.
That play symbolic of this man's tenacity. The crowd paying homage to Rodman now. Watch the relentless effort by Dennis. Watch the Knicks looking and standing. Ewing looking, Oakley looking. And Rodman dominating the glass. And he know, Marv, he practiced prior to the game and even after the game.
Yeah, he'll go. He'll hit the exercise bike for an hour after a game in which he plays 40+ minutes.
It's the kind of dedication that he has, but you kind of worry about Dennis and what happened last season.
7 of 15 from the foul line for Dennis Rodman.
Dennis never played high school basketball. Maybe that's why his futility on his shooting that time canning the free throw.
Dennis quoted the other day saying that his vision is blurry. You can see him squinting. It's been for a couple of weeks. He said, I see 2 or 3 players when I'm looking at one. He is taking medication.
Or he said 2 or 3 baskets, Marvin. Then we were forgiven for his poor shooting.
Well, the Knicks lead by 5 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Starks isolated for an instant against Anderson. Ewing around Rodman. And he made that look very easy. Patrick Ewing able to beat Dennis Rodman off the dribble. Ewing has 13. The Knicks lead by 7. Knight.
Slick move that time by Knight off the dribble.
Yes, Rivers had kept him away from the baseline. He closed it off, and Knight able to come back and hit the jump shot. The Knicks lead it 60-55. Chant of defense from the crowd.
You see the defense now wanting to force the Knicks out of the middle along the baseline, and it worked.
Ellis ahead of the field.
So that time the defense taking away the middle, forcing the Knicks down the sideline.
The Knicks lead is 3. They've led by as many as 9, and they've led most of the way. Starks. Robinson to the board.
The momentum swinging to the Spurs.
Ellis trying to put it on the floor. Beautiful play by Starks. Starks gets to it, showing his quickness. Starks for Mason. Oh, what a play by John Starks.
Starkey, that time Ellis very lackadaisical effort to come up with the loose ball.
The Knicks lead 62-57. Robinson pitches back out. Good look there. It counts as a foul. Willie Anderson spotting Dale Ellis.
Good continuity and spontaneity now by the Spurs. So Ellis looking to make his number, the three-point play.
Foul committed by Doc Rivers. Dale Ellis to the free throw line. Dale in his 11th season out of the University of Tennessee. He and David Robinson, the only Spurs to play all 82 games. A year ago, though, Robinson played hurt on a number of occasions, bothered by the injured thumb. Three-point play to bring the Spurs within 2 as we approach 3 minutes left in the third quarter. And Rivers comes up hobbling.
Turned his ankle that time. He stepped on the foot of Anderson.
And the Knicks take a 20-second timeout. And now it is extended to a full timeout. Knicks trainer Mike Saunders over to check out Doc Rivers. We'll be back in a moment Take another look as Doc Rivers steps on the ankle of Willie Anderson.
When you're having good times with friends, use good sense and drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
It'll be San Antonio ball. Pat Riley upset. Spurs in the midst of a 7-2 run. Greg Anthony has come on for Doc Rivers. It looked like he turned his ankle. Ellis, Rodman again. Rodman.
Look at that effort. Come on. Rodman embarrassing the Knicks now off the glass.
And celebrates in the face of Anthony Mason, which I don't think was appreciated. But Dennis Rodman, using his enthusiasm, leading the Spurs on. Oakley gets inside. Strong move by Oakley and a good play by Starks, who saw he did not have the shot and was able to spot a teammate down low. Now Ellis tries to post up.
Not his forte.
Robinson met on a switch by Starks. Robinson. And the foul on Starks. Pat Riley upset. He was in the face of the official, Ron Olesiak, and then stepped away.
The Knicks in a penalty. Not a good foul by Starks. He had good positioning on him. Rivers, of course, on the bench with the sprained ankle. So Robinson at the line for 2.
Robinson 1 of 2 from the line. He now has 20 points. Here's Lloyd Daniels reporting back in.
On the previous possession, the Knicks did look to double team Robinson. So the air ball was put up by Anderson, and then the outrageous rebounding by Rodman.
Knicks and Spurs tied at 64. Bonner has checked in along with Williams. They're up front with Oakley, Starks, and Anthony in the backcourt. And this call away from the ball against San Antonio. It's called on Daniels. So that is number 3 on Daniels.
So the Knicks looking to free up Starks. He's working against Daniels, not renowned for his defense. So look for Starks to work along the baseline.
Starks changed his mind again. Williams with the open shot. Yes, Herb Williams delivering for the 3rd straight game. He has done it off the bench. 3 of 4, 6 points, and the Knicks lead by 2. Williams trying to front Robinson, who beats him.
Yeah, Herb showing his folly on that play. That time he was one-on-one, no help coming.
Spurs have tied the game at 66. Starks for 3. Oh, John Starks on a back dribble set up for the 3-pointer and connected. The Knicks lead 69-66. Robinson makes his move. 3-second violation called.
Starks, second team All-NBA last season, showing why, denying Ellis that time underneath. Ellis 6'7", but does not have a post-up game.
John Lucas, head coach of the Spurs, a surprise when he was named coach last December. Then the Spurs went on to win 25 of their first 29, including a club record 10 in a row. And then San Antonio did level out from there. Starks for 3. Yes! John Starks on fire. Now, last April when the Knicks beat the Spurs in overtime, Starks did not shoot well, only 7 for 21, but he hit 2 key shots in the OT. Starks tonight has 18 points. The steal by Bonner. Starks with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Pat Riley yelling hold for 1. And the Knicks work it around, holding for a final shot. Down to 5 seconds. Williams. And time runs out. after 3. The Knicks rally in the closing minutes of the third quarter, and they take a 72-66 lead here in San Antonio. To the fourth quarter, the Knicks lead the Spurs 72-66. A moment ago, you saw a tremendous effort by that man, Dennis Rodman. Our Coke Classic play of the game.
Call him Dennis, the menace or the worm. Right here, 6'7", 210 pounds of fury. Gusto astounding the Knicks with his tremendous effort.
And Rodman 4 of 9 for the field, 9 shot attempts, half the number of shot attempts he had coming into tonight. He had taken only 18 shots over the first 7 games. So he has 10 points and 16 rebounds. John Starks, 4 of 7 from downtown, 3 of 3 in the three-point department in the third quarter. Robinson was fouled.
Yeah, dramatic shooting by Starkey.
Foul committed by Herb Williams. Right here, let's go to Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
My fourth quarter at Boston Garden tonight. Ex-Knicks Xavier McDaniel to Rick Fox. Nice look down inside to Robert Parrish. Nets couldn't pull it off. Parrish has 26 points, paces the Celtics to a 105-100 victory. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, Robinson hitting on both. He has 25 points. David Robinson is the high man. And the Knicks lead 72-68. We're just getting started in the fourth quarter here at the new Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Marv Albert with Walt Clyde Frazier. Starks pulling his way on Ellis. Starks, wild shot with the shot clock running down. Oakley dishes it back out. Here's Starks looking for the 3. And it will be San Antonio ball. Substitution. Rookie Chris Whitney, second-round pick out of Clemson, replacing Miguel Knight. Chris Whitney last year, the only player in the ACC to finish in the top 5 in 5 categories, operating now at the point guard, matched with Greg Anthony. Robinson putting the dribble between the legs. Shot clock at 5. Robinson. Good box out by Williams, allowing Anthony to get to the ball. Whitney knocks it aside. Starks for Oakley. Given the room. Charles Oakley, I would think, will begin to gain the respect on that jump shot. 7 of 11 tonight from the field. 14 points. And the Knicks lead by 6.
Knicks have tightened up their D now, helping out inside, and then Oakley going for the steal. Not the judicious thing to do.
There's Charles with the gamble, and Robinson took advantage. I mentioned Clyde sitting in for John Andres. I happened to get on the flight from Dallas to San Antonio. Walt, you were on hand, along with Earl Monroe, made the connection from New York to get to San Antonio. Earl is on the radio side, subbing for you, working along with Mike Green. Earl coming out of the bullpen tonight.
Yeah, how about that, Marv? The greatest backcourt ever. There's my sidekick, Earl DePerro.
Well, wait a second. I look on the plane. I see yourself, Earl, and me. What a backcourt.
Right? Well, we had some good years.
Well, what was always astonishing to me is that people felt that it would not work out with the two of you with one basketball. And as Ellis gets inside, and the Knicks now lead by 2.
Ellis unable to do that against Starks, that time using Hubert Davis.
I thought both of you guys, particularly Earl, pulled back. He changed his style.
Right, tremendously. So that's credit to Earl.
Which complimented you and the ball club, and obviously went on to win the championship 72-73. Here's Herb Williams. And Robinson gets it down. Ellis on the run. Challenges Davis. And he'll go to the line. Foul committed by Hubert Davis, who just checked in.
A rare stuff shot by Herb. First time we've seen that this season. The left hand misfired. So Ellis previously posting Davis inside. This time drawing the foul in transition. So he's at the line for 2. Spurs have yet to catch up in this game. They've made good runs, now down by 2.
Had the lead very early, led by 3, but the Knicks have led most of the way. And now the Spurs within 1. Ellis is 4 for 4 from the line. 17 points in all.
See, John Luke was former #1 draft choice overall by Houston in 1976.
Game tied at 74. Davis. Rodman with the rebound.
The Spurs with vim and vigor, the crowd coming alive.
And Patrick Ewing getting set to check back in. Rodman has 17 rebounds. Robinson. Rodman with rebound number 18.
A lot of contact, no foul call.
Anthony had it knocked away last touch by Whitney.
The Knicks not a symmetrical unit. Previously Starks had been providing the offensive punch. Now no one looking to pick up the slack. That's why Ewing has been inserted into the game. They need an offensive focus.
Herb Williams sitting down. Patrick Ewing is back. Up front with Bonner and Mason. In the backcourt, Davis and Anthony. 3-second violation. Anthony Bonner in the lane, and so the Spurs with a chance to take the lead for the first time since the early moments.
An ominous sign for the Knicks. Whenever you see Ewing meandering on the perimeter, he's looking to take his shots. They need him on the low post to get some continuity on the offense.
8-2 run by the Spurs. Ellis. San Antonio leading 76-74. And the Knicks will talk it over. In the midst of a 10-2 run to take this 2-point lead with 8:17 remaining in the fourth quarter. Following tonight, the Knicks head back to Madison Square Garden. They'll start a 5-game homestand. Utah Jazz and the New York Knicks on Saturday night. Knicks game night at 7:30. Mike Saunders massaging the strained neck of Patrick Ewing. Mike is not available, incidentally, as a personal masseur. Very careful selection of his clients.
Has to be 7 foot tall.
Ewing putting the move on Robinson. A double pump. Rebound Rodman.
Obviously Ewing hurting with his neck. Can't extend his arms as we've seen him miss 2 dunk shots.
John Starks getting set to come back in. Doc Rivers, we're told, is okay, although he has not returned after it looked like he turned his ankle. That's a travel. Good double team that time, and it forced the traveling violation.
Yeah, Greg Anthony coming over to help out.
There's Doc to the left after stepping on the foot of Willie Anderson, but we checked with the bench, and they say he's all right. Anthony and Starks now at the guards. Ewing up front, Oakley and Mason. 7:25 remaining, fourth quarter. Starks. Rebound Robinson. San Antonio with a 2-point lead. First time they've had the lead since the early moments.
Ellis has been the instigator, so they're trying to feature him in the offense, looking for him working along the baseline.
Ellis being guarded by Starks, trying to use the height advantage. Last touch by the Knicks. 5 remaining on the shot clock.
Concerned Pat Riley now because Patrick Ewing has not been into this game.
Robinson. He was pushed, and he'll head back to the line. Foul committed by Greg Anthony. And now Doc Rivers is checking back in.
Ewing always gullible on the perimeter, not comfortable guarding people on the perimeter. That time too easily letting Robinson penetrate around him.
Well, San Antonio's done the job at the line. Robinson is 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Rivers for Anthony.
On the season, Marv, they were a mediocre shooting team, collectively shooting 72%, as well as dreadful from the field, only 41% collectively.
And David Robinson in that Knick overtime victory here in San Antonio last April. Remember, 6 for 18 from the foul line. He was bothered by the injured thumb. But 6 of 18 at the line. Ewing met by Rodman. Shot clock at 4. Ewing to the fadeaway. Forced it with the shot clock running down. Ellis for 3. Last touch by the Knicks. Oh, Pat Riley is upset.
Yeah, Oakley, the ball caromed off of Oakley. He was standing on the baseline.
Timeout taken by the Spurs. An 11-2 run for San Antonio. They lead by 3. Remaining in this fourth quarter, and San Antonio turning it around, now leading the Knicks by 3. A look at the upcoming schedule. The Knicks back at the Garden Saturday. That's a later starting game because of the Virginia Slims tennis at Madison Square Garden. Monday they face the Miami Heat at the Garden, and then Detroit in town for an afternoon game. So the Knicks back home for the start of a 5-game homestand. The Knicks only 1 of 9 from the field. Their last field goal in the opening minute of this fourth quarter. The Spurs with an 11-2 run to take the lead, and that is a backcourt violation.
What a foolish pass by Daniels to throw the ball in the backcourt. The Knicks weren't really pressing that hard to force that turnover. But what has happened to the Knicks, folks? Watch, here's the awry pass by Daniels, but on the offensive end, Marv alluded to their futility, primarily because Ewing has not been a factor. He must remain on the low post. He's on the perimeter, so they've lacked the continuity on the offense.
Starks rebounded by Whitney. Whitney and Daniels now in the backcourt. Rodman, Ellis, Robinson up front. Ewing shoving Robinson off the blocks. And an offensive foul call.
Then is Rodman the culprit. So Oakley that time tantalizing Rodman into the foul.
Second foul committed by Rodman.
There you see right at the free throw line. It wasn't blatant, but a good acting job by the Oak man.
Dennis Rodman, 19 rebounds, 10 points. He has had an outstanding game. And the foul on Whitney.
Rivers getting the penetration. Whitney only about 6 feet tall, so Rivers should look to exploit him on the low post.
John Lucas staying with the rookie here down the stretch. Chris Whitney guarding Doc Rivers. Rivers shoots over him and hits.
Yeah, good move by the Doc.
Rose, just right.
So the Spurs lead by 1. It has been a good one here at the spanking new Alamo Dome in the River City, San Antonio, Texas. Robinson tried to squeeze through. Rivers took a shot, but the foul is called. It's on Doc Rivers.
Woeful defense by Ewing. He has not been able to deny Robinson, so I would have to think that his neck is bothering him and affecting his lateral movement.
Yes, Patrick Ewing playing hurt, and as you mentioned earlier, not himself in terms of stuffing the ball. That's where you can usually tell.
Right, can't extend his arms, so I would get Herb Williams in the game. He does a good job, and he would apply some pressure to Robinson. Riley.
But could you take him out here? I don't think you really could. From a psychological point of view, unless he really is hurting and says he wants to come out.
Unless he continues to be lackadaisical in the game.
All right, here's Ewing drawing a double team. Rivers from straight away. That was a three-point attempt. And kicked out by Rodman.
Rivers straight on with the hoop, the UFO that time. Surprised Rodman, so the Knicks will have it.
Just under 5 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Spurs 79 and the Knicks 76. Knicks have 9 on the shot clock.
What I was mentioning about Herb, Marv, the Knicks defense is their best offense. If they can apply some intensity on the Spurs, that will create some transition.
Oh, what a play by Robinson on the rejection. Shot clock is down to 1, and Ewing has to fling it. 24-second violation.
Well, that was created by the stupendous player Rodman rejecting that shot.
Anthony Mason lost sight of the fact that it was still on that same sequence that the 24-second clock was winding down. San Antonio leads by 3. Knicks come in at 7-0. The Spurs at 3-4, off to a shaky start. They did beat Denver last night on the road. Robinson, it counts, and the foul.
See, Ewing that time behind the screen and inexplicably pushing off. So a very blatant foul. The basket's good. They will shoot one as well.
Number 4, committed by Patrick Ewing.
Lucas, the antithesis of Riley. Riley unflappable, but not John Lucas. There you see the difference in the two.
And Rodman to the line. Well, he's hit 3 of 5 from the line. He has 11. Spurs with their biggest lead, a margin of 6. 4:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rivers. Rebound Robinson.
Knicks only getting one opportunity, have been misfiring from the perimeter.
Pat Riley will send on Hubert Davis, desperately needing some offense. Robinson gets it back out for Ellis. Fouled by Starks. He got the roll and the foul.
So everything going the way of the Spurs now. Starks, though, an ill-advised foul reaching around Ellis. Ellis not renowned for his dexterity with the ball. So he got the fortuitous bounce. Watch the poor D by Starks right there. And there the serendipity for the Spurs.
Standing ovation here at the Alamo Dome for the home team. Ellis with the three-point play. San Antonio 85, the Knicks 76, and the Knicks call for time.
Yo, check this out, man.
Antonio, the Spurs on a roll. They've outscored the Knicks here in the fourth quarter, 19-4. And they have taken an 85-76 lead.
A dismal offensive effort by the Knicks. What's happening, folks, they're not getting penetration with the pass or the dribble. Everything has been from the perimeter. They've been misfiring, and they're not getting second opportunities. There you see their futility, only 2 of 15.
3:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. Unless the Knicks turn it around here down the stretch, they are facing their first loss of the season. They come in at 7-0, 5-0 on the road.
And ironically, it was the Spurs that beat them in preseason. The only loss of the Knicks in the preseason.
Foul committed by Chris Whitney. Yes, the Knicks went 7-1 in preseason, and they lost here in a close game.
So good D now by the Spurs. Whitney has been the catalyst, denying the Knicks guards. Starks was igniting them in the third quarter from downtown, has not been a factor in the fourth quarter.
Right, John Starks 0 for 4 from the field here in the fourth. Ewing 0 for 3. They double up on Ewing. Rivers for 3. Whitney with the rebound.
The Spurs looking to slow down the pace here, work some clock, and look to go inside.
Davis with the steal. Took it out of the hands of Whitney. And a foul on Whitney.
Testament to the Spurs' good defense. They are not in the penalty yet. Only the fourth foul against them.
Hubert Davis and Chris Whitney are not strangers to each other, facing each other on a number of occasions. In the ACC, Whitney replaced now by Nigel Knight.
And Rodman now guarding Starks.
Here is Ewing. Rebounded by Oakley. Davis played by Daniels. Knocked out by Robinson.
I mentioned Rodman, perhaps the best defensive player ever, folks. Now he is guarding John Starks. So Rodman at 6'7", guarding the 6'3" Starks.
22nd timeout is called. San Antonio has certainly improved its defensive record this season. Last year, they allowed 102 points per game. This season, certainly helped by last night holding the Denver Nuggets to 74 points. This season, they give up 91 per game. And here are the Knicks with just under 3 minutes remaining with only 76 points.
Yeah, they play good defense. But again, Ewing has not been a factor. Starks has not been a factor in the fourth quarter. So the Knicks have not been their usual cohesive self on the offense.
And Clyde, the Knicks 2 for 17 from the field here in the fourth quarter. They have scored only 4 points. Outscored by the Spurs 19-4.
And what's happening, most of their shots have been from the perimeter, so they have not been able to get rebounds because they've been bouncing deep.
Starks off the dribble. Had nowhere to go. Rivers, yes. Doc Rivers bringing the Knicks within 7. Spurs 85, the Knicks 78, with 2.5 minutes to go in the game. John Lucas wants his club to use as much of the 24 as possible. You saw Nigel Knight checking the clock. Daniels, wild shot, but gets to the rebound. Lloyd Daniels with a key bucket. 87-78, San Antonio.
That is a play indicative of the Knicks' effort tonight. A step slow all evening.
Here's Ewing. Nice lead from Rivers. San Antonio by 7, just under 2 minutes remaining, fourth quarter.
Spurs looking to run the clock, running the 1-4 offense now. You see Nigel Knight out front. The other Spurs along the baseline.
Out of 10 on the 24. Minute 40 remaining in the fourth. And Dale Ellis continues the superb shooting. 25 for Ellis. Timeout called by 5 points, and that brought forth this reaction from the San Antonio bench, led by Antoine Carr. And the timeout taken at this point by Pat Riley.
Ellis, that's a season high for him. Previously had 17, averaging 13 on the season. So dramatic shooting by Dell. The 1-4 play working to perfection. Rivers was late getting over the screen. The Knicks have not been communicating on these pick and roll plays.
And look at that shooting. The Knicks 4 of 19 from the field. David Robinson is the high man with 32. Starks for 3. Yes. Well, John Starks, very dangerous from downtown. That's his 5th three-pointer. And the foul is called on Rivers. Doc is always giving up the body.
So the Knicks have been in the penalty. Outstanding free throw shooting by the Spurs as well.
John Starks is now 5 for 8 from downtown. 21 points in all. 89-83. Now make it 90-83 for San Antonio with 1:28 remaining in this fourth quarter. Lloyd Daniels is now 2 of 2 from the line. He has 8 points in all. San Antonio by 8. Spurs with the lead for Oakley, who was fouled.
We mentioned that's what they've been lacking on the offense in this dreadful fourth quarter. They did not get the penetration off the dribble or the pass, relying on the perimeter shot. So that time Rivers creating for the Oakman.
Foul committed by Ellis. Oakley will go to the line for the first time. Charles shooting 72% from the foul line. Another solid game, 14 points, 13 rebounds. Dennis Rodman with 19 rebounds.
So Oakley has his average. He's third in the NBA in bounding with 13 per game. Rodman, of course, leads with 20. And who's the other guy? Shaq?
Olajuwon.
Hakeem. I think this is the year of the big man, Marv. Without Jordan in the league, Hakeem, Robinson, Ewing, Shaq, they're all going to be superb this year.
Now here are the Knicks showing some pressure. Nearly picked off by Rivers. Daniels for Rodman. Rejected. Knicks very much in this game. It's only a 6-point lead as we come up on 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter. Daniels with a steal. Daniels not able to hit. Rodman does. Well, the Knicks had an opportunity right there.
Yeah, Starks, you couldn't fault him. He's been the guy propelling them back. That time an ill-advised play.
Hello, Linus. I see your blanket's out for washing.
Department. The Knicks with an excellent chance, down by 6 and with the ball.
Sweet Pea, a native of New York, coming up with the steal. So previously he'd made 2 free throws. This time Oakley harassing him. Watch Rodman. The ubiquitous Rodman coming with the tip in.
Dennis Rodman has 13 points and 20 rebounds. Going with Starks, Davis, Rivers, Ewing, and Oakley. Knicks 6 of 13 from downtown. Starks with 5 of those 3-pointers. Rivers. Oh, he was fouled and he's upset with himself. That was a potential 3-point play.
That's what they were trying not to give the Knicks, and the folly of Knight that time, allowing Rivers to penetrate and then foul him, but Doc missed the hoop. Watch this. They're allowing the Knicks to shoot the 2. There, Knight, a good call by the official.
Rivers on the line for the first time tonight. Not usually a very good free throw shooter. Has not gone to the line this season. This is only his 2nd and 3rd foul shots. 49 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. San Antonio 93, Knicks 86. Pressure again by the Knicks. Spurs with no trouble moving across. Robinson lost it though. David Robinson coughed it up.
Now, Robinson, a very intelligent man, but that was not an intelligent play by him.
Well, the Knicks will look for the 3, but if they don't have it, they'll take one. Oh, Starks lost it.
Excellent D by Rodman, deflecting the ball away from John Starks. There you see the anguish of Pat Riley.
So Rodman made the play, leading to the Starks turnover.
That's why Dennis is an all-star. He doesn't score, but the intangibles that he brings to the game.
And Starks called for the foul. Knicks have been over the limit most of this fourth quarter.
Here, Rodman overplaying the screen to force the turnover. Riley sort of in good humor.
Well, you never like to lose, obviously, but when you're 7-0, I think that the Knicks can accept this loss here in San Antonio.
Because it was a total collapse by the team, especially on the offensive end. Ewing, again, I think his neck giving him trouble.
But you're not going to go 82-0, and although when the game starts and you are in the midst of it, you are thinking of that matter. Foul called on Rodman. The Knicks had won 5 of 5 on the road prior to tonight. They're back at the Garden Saturday for Utah, start of a 5-game homestand. Knicks have won the last 22 straight at home. That goes back to last season, of course. Monday night they have a game against the Miami Heat at the Garden.
This is an easy game to forget because they know that they are better than this, and especially from the free throw line.
Yes, the disaster at the foul line has hit the Knicks again. They're 8 for 15. This after the good start at the line this season. Spurs lead 94-87. Down to 20 seconds. Knight races down. Daniels. And he's fouled by Oakley. So the Knicks giving fouls at this point. That's 5 on Oakley.
So Lloyd Daniels has had a very tumultuous career. Never played in college, but the people in the tri-state area are very familiar with his folly. So has really gotten himself together now with the Spurs. He spurred the San Antonio in the nick of time here tonight, especially from the free throw line, and then coming up with a big steal against John Starks.
He spurred them in the nick of time, huh? You write headlines for Variety, by any chance? Starks way off. Rivers for 3. Yes. So Doc Rivers from downtown, and the Spurs now lead by 5 as time runs out. The San Antonio Spurs defeat the New York Knicks 95-90. For the Knicks, their first loss of the season, and a very happy group of Spurs head back to the locker room led by their animated coach, John Lucas. The Knicks drop to 7-1, and the Spurs now at 4-4. We'll be back to recap in a moment. Antonio, the Knicks shot only 6 for 22 in the fourth quarter. San Antonio outscored them in the fourth, 29-18 for the 95-90 victory. So the Knicks are dealt their first defeat of the season. They are now 7-1, while John Lucas and the San Antonio Spurs even the record at 4-4, and they are now 2 up and 2 down at home. A look at the leading scorer summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. David Robinson with 32 points, got to the offense early and hit 12 of 18 from the field, 8 of 10 from the line, along with 10 rebounds. Dale Ellis a factor with 25, 9 of 16 shooting. Dennis Rodman a terrific all-around performance, 13 points and 20 rebounds. Lloyd Daniels off the bench contributing with 10 points. The Knicks led by John Starks, who hit 5 from three-point range, 21 points for Starks. Charles Oakley, 16 points, along with 15 rebounds. Patrick Ewing still bothered by the strained neck with 15 on 7 of 17 from the field, along with 10 rebounds. Doc Rivers with 14 points. Spurs over the Knicks, 95-90, turning it up a notch in the fourth quarter to pull it out. West Bank player of the game, Dennis Rodman. And Clyde, he went 48 minutes, 13 points, and 20 rebounds.
Yeah, the Rodman, and this play epitomizes the grandeur of Dennis Rodman. While he's leading the league in bounding and astounding, here overwhelming the Knicks underneath with a tenacious effort.
And Dennis showing his enthusiasm, lifted the club in the second half.
Also showing dexterity off the dribble and the left-handed scoop. So Rodman providing an offensive punch as well.
Our player of the game, Dennis Rodman. The Knicks will move on back home to New York, facing the Utah Jazz on Saturday night. Next game night, 7:30.